Good morning, Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. It has been a minute, but I'm so grateful to be with you, and I have a special place in my heart for all y'all. And I just loved the I to we talk from Yvette. To be honest, to play with my cards face up, things are very wild right now for me, and maybe they are for you too. I think the only reason I am not completely lost and alone is because of the we that is here in our new thought communities. Because of my loved ones at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living, at Rio Grande, at Wellspring, and the CSL in Las Cruces, I need the we. That's how I stay connected and keep my perspective. I stay on the path, moving forward. And even in this wild time, I can somewhat navigate the transition and the transformation that I think is happening. In fact, think about that prefix trans. It means across, like transportation or transgender, transmission, transmute, transcendence. Across is a powerful motion. And we're not just going across continents or even worlds right now, we're crossing galaxies. We are on the edge of the known map. And as you've heard me say before from Barbara Marx Hubbard, this is a historic moment. We are witnessing the evolution of evolution itself. As we are shifting from unconscious evolution that happens by chance to conscious evolution that happens by choice. So it might be really disorienting right now for folks who are not consciously evolving, and even for those who are choosing to evolve, because there's no map to speak of. So my suggestion this morning is let's stick together and let's reframe what seems to be like a massive crisis or an emergency, and instead be the map makers of what wishes to emerge and see what comes forth in the here and now. However, we are not like cartographers of the past who would faithfully record what was already there. Rather, we are mapping what we are creating through our collective wisdom and vision as a community in this day and age. Another way to capture this current reality was perfectly laid out by author Will Keepin. He's from Colorado. Listen to this. As socially engaged spiritual activists at the dawn of the third millennium, we are called to serve in two distinct capacities: as hospice workers to a dying civilization, and as midwives to an emerging civilization. Both tasks are required simultaneously. The culture of modernity is disappearing to be replaced with a civilization of love. If the human race is to thrive and prosper, we are called to move through the world with open hearts, being present to the grief and the decay of a waning civilization, while at the same time maintaining heartfelt enthusiasm. As we focus our energies on visionary inspiration and building unprecedented new forms of human community that will serve the future evolution of humanity. Whew. I know. Let's take some time to unpack that powerful thought and just see what this means for us right now. The first phrase that really jumps out at me is about being engaged spiritual activists. What is a spiritual activist? Well, as we say in religious science, treat and move your feet. We apply spiritual principles to real life every day, not just on Sundays. We are committed to both the inner and the outer journey, how those two work in tandem. And then we build and we push and we innovate to create a world that works for everyone, not just on paper, not just in thought, but in reality. In fact, James O'Day in his book, The Conscious Activist, captures this also. See if any of this might resonate with you. Activists and mystics are pioneers and adventurers. They leave the safer territory of conforming spirituality and charitable service, and they venture to the edges of personal and social transformation. They have a degree of longing and passion that makes some people uncomfortable. They have a degree of intensity. They ache for breakthroughs. They destabilize normality. They rock the boat of acceptability. They go off the radar screen of life's prescribed trajectories, only to return bursting with ecstatic insight, fiery conscience, and new codes to rouse all of us from a sleepy moral conformity. Both mystics and activists let their imaginations catch fire. Rather than experiencing vision as abstraction, they join with it as active participants. Vision enters into them and courses their veins until it is fully embodied. They are called relentlessly to step into the cauldron of real life verification in order to bring airy concepts into flesh and blood reality. The path of enactment can be clumsy, painful, and dangerous, but there's no other way for those who want to live the reality that others conceptualize but hesitate to incarnate. Whew. Our current times challenge us to live at that active level of spirituality so we can reconfigure into the next evolution of humankind. But our work is cut out for us as spiritual activists with our two jobs right now as hospice worker and midwife. Let's look at that. We are hospice workers right now, not only to help process all of the death and disillusionment and the loss of recent years, but also to support the process of putting our dying civilization to rest. So, are we making space for the personal and collective grieving that needs to happen in this moment? And how do we include the people who are in denial? Everyone would probably agree that the old ways are dying, but not everyone would agree that their ways are the old ways. They just know the intense pain and sorrow right now and look back with great nostalgia for the good old days. It must be very painful to no longer feel understood or to have a great portion of society expressing in ways that don't even compute anymore. And I think that pain of misalignment goes both ways. So can we offer compassion to the souls who are stuck between worlds right now? For those whose ways are dying, they may be lashing out and doing things that make no sense to us. So while we may hold them accountable for their actions, can we also hold their hand and honor the light of the divine expressing even in those who would curdle our blood? If the answer is no, that I cannot show up as love for all people, then I must deepen my spiritual practice. and lean into my community even more to recalibrate myself for this new calling. As Reverend Dr. Jim Lockhart wrote in Creating the Beloved Community, the spiritual community is like an incubator, a place of safety and support for the kind of inner exploration needed to gain self-awareness and develop compassion. It is also very often a base of operations for outreach to the larger community and the world, to be of service to those in need and to influence people for the better. So our spiritual community becomes a home base for our ministry as hospice workers, whom we are called to be in this moment for each other's loss and the loss of the old ways. But to balance the grief and the loss, can we also make space to celebrate the joy of this new life? Can we ask the essential question over and over again? What wishes to be born from this historic moment in time? What is mine to do? How do we keep our hearts open and allow Spirit to guide us as we create the new map for humanity? Well, we continue our mystical and practical studies. We share the journey together. We draw strength from the wellspring of we. We imagine and dream together, and we celebrate the joy in our lives. We help each other to stay grounded in spirit so we can move through the world with an open heart and an open mind, and we listen deeply to the guidance of Spirit through our spiritual practices and our relationships with each other. We are, quote, building new forms of human community that will serve the future evolution of humanity. So what will the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living look like or do to be that home base of hospice work and midwifing, the refueling station for spiritual activism? I don't know the answer to that, nor does any one person. This new evolution of community and life itself is centered in the co-creation of we. So we continue to work together as mindful midwives. So yes, we are walking the edge between worlds right now as the old ways are dying and putting up quite a fight. You can see the claw marks, but the new ways are beginning as well. Hallelujah. And this might be awkward. This might be why we feel we don't fit in anywhere. I often feel like a little unicorn in a horsey corral. But that's why we are the pioneers who need to support each other in order to survive in the wilderness and to create a new settlement, a new way of being. So yes, we are walking the path of transformation together, which is revealing itself as we go. That's why there's no map here. But the good news is we can consciously create the map from here forward. We can be calling the shots for what happens next. Our society tends to view death and even birth as a crisis needing serious medical attention. So the times right now may feel like a massive emergency, but really, it's the universe giving us a stern and urgent directive to stop army crawling through the old ways and to help each other to stand up. So let's spell that emergency a little different, as in the word emerge and the letters NC. We are called to emerge into a new creation, to build a new community, to express a new level of care, a new level of compassion, a new level of cooperation and courage. This is our emergence story in real time. And that story is being written together. It is being co-authored, and we all have a seat at the table. In fact, we are living in a real cliffhanger moment here. It's just like Netflix. The next season hasn't come out yet. And the best part is that we get to map out that next season together. Oh, what dreams may come. What is your vision? What does our new community look like, feel like, do together? It's time to storyboard it and bring it into full reality. The world is waiting for the next season of Emerge and See, and we are poised and ready to make it happen. What adventures will we have making the new map together? Bon voyage.
Good morning. My name is Maddie Suarez, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you so much for joining us, either online or watching it later on in the day. Whether you found us on Facebook or YouTube, please use the chat to let us know that you're here. If you're new to us, please visit our website at abqcsl.org. And you can sign up for our newsletter and be on our email list so you can keep up to date for whatever's happening here in the community. We're so grateful that you've joined us. Today we're continuing our series on practicing oneness in community. And we're excited to have Reverend Kamatara Johnson speaking today and practitioner Joy Lynn Hertz as well. Two wonderful ladies that have a lot to offer. I'm going to let you know a little bit about my experience of the power of the collective lately. I've been meeting with some small groups of people, and we've been sharing about our experience and what we want to experience in life. And sometimes it's hard to find people that can get in that space with you of imagination, of discovery, of creating what you want to experience in life. And so I've been meeting with different people, and we talk in a way that we know that what we want to experience is happening right now. And it's like maybe if you were a child and you get into an imagination state and you talk as if you have something like that, great new job or that wonderful new relationship. And just staying in that space of knowing that it's true and speaking as it is true right now. And it's been a really fun experience. So I would encourage you, if you're able and can find someone wanting to do that with you, to practice that and maybe make a difference. I've seen it make a big difference in my life. So just an idea for you today. I'm going to go ahead and say a prayer to open us in today. So if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes and experience that with me. So as I take a deep breath and settle into this knowing that all is well, that regardless how things appear on the outside, that all is well, even so. And as I sit in that space of knowing that there is only one, that one is all there is, that connection to that one is mine right here, right now, that it is yours, that it is all of ours, that we are all absolutely in every way connected to each other, connected to all beings, connected to everything. And with that connection, there is strength. With that connection, there is love, there is peace. With that connection, there is a sense of oneness, of sharing, and of creating the world that we want to live in, of creating the experience we want to have. In that oneness and that connection, I can learn from you and you can learn from me. And we can grow and share and know that all is well all the time. And as I sit in that space of knowing that all is well with my collection of all the beings of the universe, I'm never alone. I'm never alone. And everything is all right. I sit in that space and it brings me gratitude. It gives me a space of relief, a space of it's all okay. And I'm so grateful to know that's true right here, right now. I stay in that space of gratitude, knowing that I am never alone and that we are all in this together. So staying in that space, I let it go, I let it be, knowing that this day is glorious in all ways and how fortunate we all are to share it together. Namaste.
My name is Dino, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center. I just want to remind you of some prayer opportunities that are available. If you'd like to send us an email at prayer@abqcsl.org, the practitioners and ministers of the center will hold you in prayer for the week. Or if you'd like to log on to our website at abqcsl.org, up at the top there's a tab about us, that if you click on that, there's a list of practitioners who are more than willing to talk with you by phone or possibly meet you. So we encourage you to take advantage of these opportunities. At this time, it is my pleasure to close our program for today in prayer, in gratitude. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, I invite you to do so. We would like to hold your heart in prayer. I invite the practitioners and the ministers of the center to create that space for you at this time, knowing that we are here for you, holding your hearts, holding our community, holding our vision, holding our love for you. As we prepare for a new day and a new journey, we envision ourselves holding hands tight, knowing that together we travel to this new destination, this new life in this day, in tomorrow. We know that as one, we are joyful, and we are happy, and we are loving. And we know that as we move forward into our day, we gather our kindnesses and place them in our heart and offer them to everyone we encounter. We also hold our community in prayer as we hold out our hands and know that everything we touch is of the divine, that we are the beloved, that we are the light, that we are the way, that we are the love. Thank you so much for being here today. We hope that you'll be with us again here next Sunday. Namaste. Help me close the program today with our affirmation, if you will. My community is built on a strong foundation of love and unity, and I know that together everything we create is blessed and beautiful. Namaste.